Oh boy, The Walking Dead Season 10 trailer came out, I guess it was over the weekend. That's when I saw it, was on Saturday, and I am so excited for Season 10 now.
Yeah, man, a lot of cool stuff came out of the Walking Dead panel at the San Diego Comic-Con. Some good, some not so good.
And we're going to discuss all of that, but before we begin, allow us to introduce ourselves. If you're new to the channel, I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. We do podcast about all sorts of things. Obviously, from the name, we definitely started with The Walking Dead, and as you can see from this podcast, we continue to talk about The Walking Dead. But if you are a fan of podcasts in general, consider subscribing, because we talk about a ton of other things, from The Walking Dead to debauchery to conspiracies.
I like the debauchery.
Paranormal, even down to some urban exploration and stuff like that. We got a wide range of things that we do and cover on this channel, so consider hitting that subscribe button, and also consider checking out our Patreon if you enjoy the content, because we are planning to make this a video podcast, hopefully by the end of the year.
Hopefully.
But to do that, you kind of need a couple $1,000. I mean, we want good quality. We don't want to. I can half-ass it now and use my phone, I guess, but I want to give you. We want to give you like top-notch content. So we're working towards that. And on top of that, even more important to us than that, we want to give you some swag. We want to give you some shirts, some stickers, bandanas, some cool merch from the channel. Mm-hmm. So just click the link below, or go to Patreon and search Patreon / the Podcasting Dead. Excuse me. So just Patreon and search The Podcasting Dead. And once we get to 20 patrons, we're going to do a big giveaway that's going to have things that cover everything we talk about. But without further ado, you're here for a discussion about The Walking Dead Season 10 trailer. And man, so many things to talk. We wanted to do a breakdown, which is I think what we did for the second. I think we did the only trailer breakdown we've ever done, I think, was for The Walking Dead Season 9B, like the second half. But that was a much shorter trailer, I believe. It was a lot easier to go like scene by scene and basically discuss it. This was like a 3 or 4 minute trailer, so it wasn't as easy.
It was a big one. A lot of stuff smashed in there.
And we're not going to go in order here, but we're going to just discuss it, and feel free to leave your thoughts and correct us if we're wrong, or let us know things that we might have missed.
Yeah, because I've actually only watched it once. So
likewise, myself too. So let us know if there's something that we missed or that we need to include in this. But I'm just going to say out the gate, one thing that one of my favorite parts of the whole trailer, and slight language warning here, I'm only repeating what was in the trailer, but when Carol said that bitch got to die, I was dude. Yes! Bitch yes! We've been saying for a while that if Henry was to die, that it would be really cool to have it more, instead of being like, which I like the Daryl versus Alpha dynamic. I think that's actually Rick leaving and that allowing Daryl to step up. And he's become a character that I love once again. I'd gotten kind of I thought he got stale and I wasn't really enjoying him. But we had said a while back how awesome it would be to see Carol and Alpha just go head to head. Both very vicious, both very cunning and resourceful. And it looks like we're heading to that. And now, Carol's just going to be out for blood.
Yeah, man. I like that they're having conversation, but it's gonna
at the border, and it's like, I guess the Whisperers migrated back from Florida, wherever they were posting up for their winter vacation.
Yeah, I think they just have a winter home. They
got a condo down in Florida. Yeah. They just all go chill out. What if they do do that, and it's a very normal setting? Like they have martinis, and it's like, hey, Alpha, we ain't in the woods no more. You can call me Janine.
Yeah, like Alpha's caddying for or Beta's fudge. You get
golf caddying.
They're playing golf. Yeah, words are hard this morning.
They are. Well, it's Monday. So
yeah, they're playing golf. Like the Bill Murray zombies out there,
right?
Just walking around the green,
and then we see a shot of Judith holding up a Whisperer mask. I guess getting her first. What the hell is this? Because Judith didn't have to deal with Whisperers the last season, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be a new concept for her. Hell, neither did Negan, but yet we hear Negan talking about him in the trailer, so it's like Negan. We might get our Negan and Beta Brawl just yet, though the Daryl and Beta Brawl was badass. I still want that Negan and Beta Brawl.
Yeah, man, I like that Negan's kind of where Rick was, like season 3 when he's at the prison and all he's really worried about is being, Farmer Rick.
Right.
Now we got Farmer Negan.
Yeah, we see, Father Gabriel walk up with Aaron, who, by the way, has this badass mace on his hand, and he's like, you can fight. You need fighters. Fight together. And then Negan's just like, just let me plant my crops, man. Leave me alone. And now we're going to have Negan maybe. He might even. Do you think he was out on do you think that they just have him on like a kind of like a work release type thing? Like he's still in jail, but he gets to come out because of saving Judith and yada, yada, yada? Or do you think he's just out walking free right now? Because we did see the sale in the trailer, which to me insinuates that. Because we saw Daryl and Negan finally talking.
Yeah, man, I doubt they just like gave him a room, or just like, here's Jim. He's going to be your roommate, Negan. Trash pickup is on Thursdays.
Right. We saw in the trailer, it was interesting because we saw Daryl having a conversation with Negan. Then not long after, I believe, we see Daryl like punching someone. But I don't think that was Negan. Mm-hmm. He was like almost like they were tied to the chair or like sitting down. You know what I mean? They look below him, but he's like grabbing their head and punching them. But I don't think that was Negan. So I'm interested if that's like a captured whisperer. And we see that Lydia's kind of picked up Henry. So what is the deal with the staff, man? Like that just passes from person to person, right? Like Henry's older brother learned how to use it, and then he died, and then Henry learned how to use it, and Henry died. And it's like a cycle of death. It gets passed. Like you had, Eastman trained Morgan, then Eastman died. Morgan trained Henry's brother. What was Henry's brother's name? I honestly can't remember after all this time. He trains him, and then he dies, and then his little brother learns, and then he dies, and now Lydia learns. Maybe now it's like whoever holds the staff is going to die.
Apparently, white guys don't fare too well once they've got it. Morgan didn't die, and Judith, hopefully she won't die. So,
you talking about Lydia?
Lydia, right?
Lydia learning the staff, which we might have a little bit of the Carl. I mean, we've seen some of that Carl Negan dynamic that we love so much from the comics with Judith and Negan. But we might get a little bit of that too with Negan and Lydia, because we see Negan talking to her, basically like you kind of need to watch yourself. Yeah,
he's just a big old Papa Bear, man.
Yeah, yeah. And then it looks at one point. Did you kind of get the sense that Sadiq might be in some trouble?
Yeah.
We see him looking all blurry and everything, and it looks like his head that was getting dunked and held underwater. So it looks like he's in some. A lot of people were saying that he is like working for the Whisperers now. That was a big theory last season. Like that's how he survived the finale. Well, not actually the finale. It was the episode before the finale. But how he survived, everyone else died and he survived is like he cut some kind of deal. Like he's an inside man for the Whisperers now to keep them in check. I hadn't
thought about that.
That was a big theory. I don't know that I believe it, but it actually had a lot more traction than I would have thought.
I could see that, man. I haven't liked Sadiq since day one.
I don't. And usually I try to be respectful to the actors, but I don't even really think he's that good of an actor, to be honest with you. I mean, the show's got a ton of just incredible actors and actors, but he's just, to me, not one of them. Right. And you've heard my complaints about his speeches whenever he talks like this. Like he whines a lot. Like, stop whining, man. But yeah, so no, it looks like he's in some trouble, and we don't know exactly why, but and then we also at the end see Michonne holding the bat. Why is Michonne holding the bat? She's got Lucille in her hands and she's pointing it at somebody. Do you think maybe she'll get to a point where she considers killing Negan?
I could see that.
And maybe that's what's happening right there. She's considering just killing him.
He saved Judith, and they had their little moment when he was locked up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. She kind of wasn't in a place where she would want to kill him, and then on top of that, he just saved her daughter. So, why would she want to kill him? But it does. You know what though? Let me pull up this picture. Let's see, because we also see that. Let's see, what's Michonne's hair looking like? No, she's got the same hairdo. I thought for a while that she kind of went back to her old hairstyle, where it's just kind of pulled back. But looking at the pictures from the trailer, no. But this one honestly kind of looks like she's got something different going on with her hair here. So, it looks like she's almost like wearing her old getup and what what this could be like a dream. Maybe this is like a dream of Negan, like him, Michonne is the one with the bat. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's some kind of hallucination or flashback, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just she's got her hair pulled back. It looks like she's got a band over her hair, and it's really dark. And I can't tell if maybe she doesn't even have hair right here, and she's just got like a beanie on, or if maybe her hair is just pulled back. But the background of this is so dark.
Right.
Her hair could be hanging back there, and you can't see it. But we see her with the bat and pointing it at the camera. So what's some speculation? Keep in mind too that we stay as far away from the spoiling dead as we can. So if there are obvious answers out there, that's why we don't know them, because we love the trailers, we love talking about it, but we try our best to stay away from spoilers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We've podcasted once or twice about things we've heard from the spoiling dead, and we were like, we don't like this at all.
Right.
We don't like spoiling. You've got a lot of other great channels on YouTube that'll cover spoiled and set leaks and script leaks and stuff, and they're there for you, but that's just not. I don't want to know them.
Right.
And it might be selfish, but I don't want to know them to relay them to you.
Speaking of Michonne, I mean, it's not a spoiler. Denai Guerrera made a big announcement at San Diego Comic-Con. She is leaving the show.
She is leaving.
It's official. It's super official. I don't know if that means...
I think she's going to the Rick movies.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know that they addressed that or not. That would be the logical.
I think that she's going to go to the Rick movies. I think you're going to see quite a few of them go, because though we love Andrew Lincoln and we love Rick, and we definitely would be happy to see it, I think they feel like they've got better chances, because you saw where they're going to all be released in theaters.
I know. I read that the first one definitely is. I didn't know that.
I think they all are. I could be wrong, but I think that would look terrible to do the first one in theater, because it's not like it's, they've had episodes and finales in select theaters.
Yeah.
This is only going to be in theaters. It's not like you can watch it on AMC or go see it in the theater. Right. This is a straight up theatrical release. So I imagine if it does well, all three will come out to theater.
I was going to say, I bet it depends a lot on whether it bombs or not, which I hope it doesn't.
I don't think it will, man. We love our Andy Lincoln. We love Rick Grimes. I can't wait to get back. And I think that what they're doing is they're thinking if we pull more, like they're going to pull people like Michonne and some other characters to the movies, and then they're thinking that'll be even more of a draw. Because we said a while back that, I think with Rick gone, Michonne was like our favorite, and now she's leaving. Stop taking my favorites off this show.
Yeah, man. And I said like early on in the podcasts, man, when we were first getting started, like one of my favorite things, I was a big X-Files fan growing up, and when they had a season finale and left it on a cliffhanger, and then you got to see the movie in the summer, man, I'm glad they're kind of doing that sort of thing with the Rick movie.
Oh yeah, I told my girlfriend. I mean, I'm excited. You know what I mean?
It better be rated. It's got to be rated R, right?
God, I would hope.
R,
yeah, some F-bombs in there.
Yeah, because I mean they toe the line pretty hard just on the TV show. So I would. Yeah, it's got to be rated.
Oh
R.
yeah.
If not, I'm not going to be a happy.
Well, and then they can't say they've never done it, because they've had, DVD exclusive episodes where Negan drops F-bombs left and right. And they even, season 5's finale, when Rick says they're screwing with the wrong people, you can, on the DVD, I think that either he says it or there's a version where he says they're fucking with the wrong people. And they actually were going to do that. What I thought was so funny is that's right before we started podcasting. We started this channel with season 6. That's where we started following it as far as podcasting. And I remember watching Scott Gimple say, well, the original line was they're f***ing with the wrong people, but we decided, not to do that for, it's kind of a, kids watch the show. And I'm like, it's a show where we watch people get ripped apart by zombies, and you're worried about the F word?
Yeah.
I mean, I would, you know what I mean? Like the gore and the adult content in this show, and that's what you're worried about, the F-bomb? Of all the things they could take away from that show, I'm pretty sure the F-bomb's probably one of the more tame. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm with you. I hope it's rated R. I hope it's a little bit grittier, and maybe that's why they want to do. I mean, obviously, maybe money too, but maybe they like the idea of going to theaters and they can just make it raw.
Yeah, man. Naked Denai Guerrera. We probably see some Rick butt. I think it's gonna be a good time.
But moving on into the trailer, we noticed too. There's a strange, almost Game of Thrones looking scene from the trailer where they're on the beach with these shields.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
I guess maybe they're training on the beach somehow. I don't know if they're raising an army and that's what's going on, and they're just beach training. But I found that to be a little strange. It's like, what show is this? But yeah, I'm looking through for more stuff from the trailer.
Yeah, and Carol and Daryl talking about just going west or something.
Yeah, Carol and Daryl are, we don't, not when I say together, I don't mean together in a relationship way. We don't know that yet. Because there also was a part of it that looked like Connie and Daryl were together because they were like feeding the dog together and being all cutesy and stuff. But we know that at one point Carol is going to be alone with Daryl. Maybe they're heading somewhere. But we also see the big shock was Michonne with Ezekiel.
Yeah.
And comic readers, it was a shock because in the comic, yes, they were together. But in the show, and yes, sometimes we will have a few comic spoilers. Sorry, the comic is over and the stuff we're talking about happened years and years and years ago. If you can't handle comic spoilers, then I apologize. And we always do try to warn, except for this time. But yeah, Michonne and Ezekiel were together in the comics. And so, but we just thought with Rick in the picture and the Michonne, the Michonne thing, it was done. But now, no, it looks like Ezekiel and Michonne.
And I don't know how to feel about that. I definitely don't think Rick is the cuckoldish type. So I don't think he's just going to come home and be into some weird stuff. So that could,
I feel bad for Carol too. I mean, Michonne was Carol's friend. I don't know, man. It's. I guess when you get, I don't know. I guess options are a little bit more limited in this world. But and I don't know, man. I don't know.
Say when Michonne finally, reconnects with Rick in the movies. Yeah, she has to spill the beans, as far as like moving on a little bit. Who do you think Rick's first guess would be as far as who she hooked up with,
Daryl. I knew Daryl had eyes for Michonne.
Oh, man.
I could just see him. It's like they get there, I don't know who would tell him or what, but, it's like, I got to tell you something about Michonne. Is she with another man? First, he probably, she died? No, she's alive. She's with another man. Yes, she is. It's Daryl, isn't it? I knew that's why he was so close. He always wants my women.
First he pushes me in a hole, and now he's, pushing himself in.
I almost died because of Daryl. Now he took my woman.
Ugh.
Oh, man, no.
Rebar through my gut.
Because Daryl.
First he stabs me in the back, and now he's stabbing Michonne. Never mind.
I used to call him Dare Bear, but no more.
No.
But yeah, man,
it's gonna be some sticky situation.
Yeah, we see Ezekiel in a hurry running to the radio and radio banter. So definitely looks like they're kind of setting up for the Commonwealth.
He's probably just bragging about nailing Michonne.
Well, and we saw, speaking of nailing in Ezekiel, and I know that Ezekiel didn't do this, but we did see Rosita with her baby, so we know that there's going to be some time jump, another time. I feel like we're like on. Hold on. Woo. Excuse me. But we know there's going to be some kind of time jump, which we've had a lot of time jumps since the end of season 8, man. So, we had a little bit of a time jump, then Rick left, and we had like a 6-year time jump, and then I think did we have another little time jump after the mid-season finale? No, not really. They brought Jesus back. But now we got another time jump coming, and it don't look like a big one, but definitely long enough that Rosita's had her baby, and she's holding it. So I don't know, man. I'm so excited. I love the seeing Alpha talk at the line. Now you must be punished. Like, I'll punish your ass. Step on this side of this. Yeah, and then we've seen. I don't know if we didn't see Maggie in the trailer though, right? Because I've heard talks that they are in the process of bringing Lauren Cohen back into the Walking Dead world. It's kind of like. I feel like with Lauren Cohen and The Walking Dead, it's kind of like, you ever or maybe you've been through it, but those couples to where they've been together forever and they break up for a little while, each goes and gets a little strange, or they start dating somebody. It don't last long, right? They might date these other people for like a few months, and then they end up back together as everybody knew they would. Right. How Lauren Cohen went off, tried to do something different, and Whiskey Cavalier, from what I hear, just bombed.
Yeah.
And now she's going back to the moneymaker.
Can't blame her for that.
I mean, she's a good actress, and I don't think it's that she can't be successful without The Walking Dead. But I mean, it's like, look, I would be on The Walking Dead and just work on other projects when I could, because
it just comes down to being smart about picking your other projects. You don't see Denai Guerrera going off to some lame ass, run of the mill like ABC crime, comedy, drama, whatever.
Right.
She went and did the Black Panther movie, one of the highest grossing Marvel films to date,
and then ended up in Infinity War and Endgame. Like two of the Endgame is what the biggest. It's the biggest. It's past Avatar now, or it's about Avatar. To. So it's like the biggest movie ever, and Denai Guerrera was in it. You know what I mean? So she's very. I don't know if it's her or her agent, but definitely someone's being smart about what other projects she's working on. But hopefully we're going to see her turn up in the Rick movies. I feel like that's how it's going to end. And I feel like that's what most people think is that it's going to, she's going to go off. Yeah. Maybe there comes up a lead about Rick, maybe they'll meet someone that talks of a civilization and of this guy Rick and yada yada yada. Maybe that's why Daryl and Carol. I don't know. I can't imagine they would send all three of them out there. But I feel like they would somehow work Daryl into the movies. I feel like by at least the third one, Daryl's going to be in it in some capacity.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan in there. I mean, you got to imagine that the third movie culminates with Rick going back to Alexandria.
It's got to, man. It's got to. I don't get how. And they said, at least I know they did last year when Rick left, that he would survive all three Rick movies. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine Rick not trying to get back to his people unless you just bring the whole show to where Rick is. You know what I mean? So I don't know exactly how that's going to go. But we saw a little bit of beta. Not a lot, but we did see a little beta with the Whisperers. I'm trying to think of who all we saw. I mean, it was, like I said, it was such a big trailer, man. And anything that we missed when we wrap this up, please feel free to mention in the comments because,
I've only watched it the one time. So.
Likewise, I've seen it once, and it was like a 4-minute trailer, so it's very possible, or it is going to happen that we're going to forget some stuff. But
either way, lots of good stuff coming down the pike.
Yeah, we see them training on the beach. I'm just looking at a picture of that now, so I'm guessing maybe it's got something to do with Oceanside.
Yeah, could be.
Because we haven't seen. We saw the one girl from Oceanside, but that's pretty much it, right? Like, we haven't been to Oceanside. Yeah, and there's a picture of a frame of Daryl and Connie loving on the dog. And maybe they're not together, but it definitely looks like, if nothing else, the friendship's going to continue. They're going to continue working together because they do work really well. I like Connie a lot, man. I thought she had one of the coolest scenes in all of season 9 when she was in that cornfield or whatever it was, and she, it gave us the perspective of like being deaf but going through there and the walkers coming out of nowhere. I thought that was a really cool sequence. So yeah, let's hope Angela Kane can continue the magic from season 9. And like I said, some people don't like season 9, and that's fine. But if you listen to the podcast, you'll know. You go back and listen to the last season. JP and I love season 9. I'm not saying there weren't, a few points where it was like, this episode was a little slow, but overall, as a whole, I thought it was a much better product than we gotten in the last season or two.
Yeah, man, I wish they'd spread a little of that magic down to a Fear the Walking Dead. But
Angela King, can you just request to take over Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah, just helm all the Walking Dead properties.
Let's just get rid of Scott Pimple there and let's throw Angela King in his seat, because it seems like and I know it's a lot more than Angela King. You've got directors to think and writers and all of that, but at the end of the day, she is the showrunner and everything has to pass through her, and clearly she seems to know what we do and don't like, or at least with JP and I. Maybe she's writing it just for us. Who knows?
Could be.
But, let us know your thoughts. Let us know anything that we might have missed, because it was a long trailer. It was a lot happening in there. And also, before we go, we'll discuss a little bit about, because I was going to make a separate podcast about this, but I don't really feel like it's worth doing an entire podcast. But talking about the new Walking Dead show, I was reading an article on Washington Post that actually came out a couple of days ago, but it turns out, so we knew it was going to talk about like people grow. The way we had thought, and I think a lot of people did, was going to be set in the future, and like these girls grew up with zombies. They were born, but apparently no, they're coming from a very safe society. Like they say, Scott Gimple said something to the effect of like, what we don't realize is there are lots of societies out there that have been pretty fortunate, and like there are kids who have been born during the zombie apocalypse, or but they have not had any up close and personal encounters with walkers because their civilizations are so protected. And basically, it's going to be these girls leaving their civilization and experiencing the walkers and stuff for the first time. So it's not like we were thinking, where it was going to be in the future, and these were just battle hardened, badass girls who just grew up with the zombie apocalypse around them. Like they've been pretty kind of like the Alexandrians before Rick and everybody showed up. Like they were pretty oblivious to deal. They're aware of them, and this is all just what I've read in the article, but they're aware of the zombies. They're aware of what's happening, but they haven't really had to go out and deal with the problem until now. So I don't know. Let's just hope it's better than this season of Fear the Walking Dead's been. Yeah. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on the new show. Let us know your thoughts on the trailer. I'm sure that some of the diehard Walking Dead fans out there who are listening, you've probably done a lot more digging than we have. We don't like to dig too much because you go turning rocks over. Next thing you know, you done pulled up a spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just never fun. But, let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know what you think we should look to expect. And if you've made it this far, hopefully you didn't hate the podcast too bad. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, give us a like. That always helps us out. And check out the Patreon. Again, patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
Yeah, we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, so we'll talk to you tomorrow for Trending Tuesday. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead.